I'm going to recap Once Upon a Time, episode 2 of season 4, which is entitled White Out. So we know Elsa created a barrier around Storybrooke made of ice so that no one could leave. And of course this creates a power outage, which gets everybody in a hectic frenzy. Emma's trying to comfort Henry at Granny's diner because Henry received a note from his mother, Regina, that she doesn't want him around while she's dealing with this whole Robin Hood thing. Henry's very depressed about it, being a real kid. Emma doesn't know what to do. It's called away by David. So she calls Hook, and they all end up at the border of the town trying to figure out how this ice was made and what they can do to fix it. So meanwhile, everybody's going to Mary Margaret and asking, "Hey, Mary Margaret, can you fix the grid? Because Regina does not want the mayor job anymore, and you're the one who actually cast this curse, so you gotta fix all our problems." Now, of course, Mary Margaret is stressed out, hasn't slept much, is breastfeeding, is exhausted, taking care of a baby, and she does not need one more problem added to her list. So when the townspeople are all like, "Hey, can you fix this generator?" she really gets stressed out. So when they start complaining about everything, she flips out, man. "I don't need this! You've spent your entire lives in the Enchanted Forest! You can deal without electricity for a night!" She figures out that her baby needs milk because she's hungry, and the generator needs fuel because it's hungry. And so she turns on the fuel, and boom! She fixes it! Yay, Mary Margaret! High five with the baby. So we know that she can take care of the town. She has that confidence now, and so hopefully she'll step up into a more mayoral role. Meanwhile, back at the ice wall, Emma finds Elsa. So Elsa starts using the ice as a bargaining chip. She says, "I'm going to freeze the whole town if you don't help me find my sister." And she has the necklace showed her. I believe it's made out of ice. It's like a snowflake. Hook and David come to Emma's aid. Elsa gets scared, and boom, she shuts them down into a little ice cave. So they're stuck there until they can find Anna and bring her back to help Elsa unfreeze everything. So while they're in there, Emma gets really cold, but of course Elsa doesn't bother her. Song reference. So they start bonding, talking about how they both have powers that they can't control, and sometimes it's really frustrating, and Emma, they both have responsibilities that they can't fulfill because they're really scared and timid and they don't know what to do. So they start bonding over that, and Elsa kind of feels bad for Emma, and she feels really bad because she's going to freeze to death. David and Hook go into action mode, both kind of heroes. They have to go find Mr. Gold and try to figure out where Anna is based on this necklace. Get to Gold's shop, and, the words are exchanged. "You need to help us because you're the bloody dark one. Do something." But they're going through inventory, and they're missing this necklace that Belle recognizes, and then David recognizes it because of a flashback. So the flashbacks in this episode are really cool. It's when Elsa gets to the Enchanted Forest. She needs a place to stay before she starts her secret mission. She goes under the guise of Joan, which nobody buys. Turns out Charming is actually friends with Kristoff. God knows how that happened. Ice harvester, farmer, I don't know. Get a little insight into David's past when he was a shepherd with a gorgeous mane of long hair. And his farm was actually threatened by an evil witch warlord person named Bo Peep. Yes, this is the same Bo Peep who herded sheep. Her shepherd staff is actually a magical item that helps her find her flock, or people that she has branded. And so she brands both Charming and his mother, and she's demanding payment, or otherwise she's going to take over his farm and destroy their lives. So Anna's like, "David, you gotta fight back." And David's like, "No, it's a useless battle." And Anna's like, "Well, that's the battles that you have to fight." And so she teaches him how to sword fight, and it was pretty funny, because he's really bad at it at the beginning. And then she gives him a really motivational speech about how she has to fight, and if she doesn't, it's just cowardice and loss is what's motivating him and not courage. But then we actually find out why Charming feels this way, and it's because he had a drunk father. Now, we really didn't get a lot of information on Charming's father, other than he died when he was young, but here we learn that he was a drunk who dealt with his battle of, alcoholism, and he fought it for 14 days, trying to go on the straight and narrow, but then on the last day, he keeled over drunk, and he drove his wagon drunk, so DWI, haha, into a lake, and the constable knocked on his door and said, "Ooh, sorry, Dad's dead." Kind of shaped Charming's worldview as of right now as a shepherd boy. And Anna is going to help him change that. She's going to give him the strength to fight back and to fight his battles that he doesn't think are worth. Which is, of course, eventually how he, builds up the courage to do King George's bidding and then defy him to fall in love with Snow White. So thank you, Anna, for all that. Bo Peep brands Anna when she's threatening David, but then he sword fights all her guys and wins and defeats her, which is really great. And he saves Anna, gives her back her necklace, how he recognizes it, so he knows that it is Anna back in Storybrooke. So David uses this knowledge to talk Elsa off the ledge and to get her to unfreeze the cave, which she does. Of course, Hook and Emma are just so loving at this point because he has been freaking out. Really, Captain Swan has been feeling all over the place. But they are reunited. He gets Emma warm. They're holding hands. It's beautiful. And then Mary Margaret comes back for her adventure and says, "Oh, who's this?" And David says, "This is Elsa. We're going to use Bo Peep's magical item to find her sister. We don't see her, but we know that she's alive." And he says because families don't give up on each other, which of course inspires Henry to go back to his mother's and say, "Hey, I'm not going to give up on you. I don't care if you want to shut me out. This is my house, and I love you." And of course we have a great Regina and Henry hug. Now, at the final scene, we go back into the flashback, and Anna, who says she's been here on a secret mission, doesn't really start her mission until she's about to leave. So, hey, at the last minute, BTW, can you tell me where I'm supposed to go? So she asks Charming's mother where she could find someone who could help her with magic. And, of course, we know that his mother, Ruth, made the deal with Rumpelstiltskin when her boys were babies. And so she knows that Rumpelstiltskin is the guy to go to for this stuff. And when she says his name, he hears it and sees her in that crystal ball that he got. Yes, Rumpelstiltskin in the flashback knows about Anna, and they're probably going to have an encounter next episode. Elsa tries to unfreeze the wall, but she can't do it, and she's confused because she says, "I'm the only one with this power. How is it still up if I'm trying to pull it down?" So we learn that there is another ice power in Storybrooke, and it's Elizabeth Mitchell! All the rumors were true. She is the Snow Queen, or we think she is. She actually owns an ice cream shop, and she was able to save her product by freezing it during the blackout. She is so awesome. I can't wait for next week. Okay, see you next week in Storybrooke.